It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, sponsored by Marco's Pizza. We have oppressive heat on the way. We're going to describe and show you what that may look like for you and what you may want to do to prepare, because after all, this is First Warning. So maybe you get the first warning that there's a heads up. Plus, at the end, I'll take a look back at my Father's Day if you want to hear some fun story. It's a fun story, maybe a couple of fun stories, but I hope you'll stay tuned for that too. But we have to get to the nuts and bolts. I have a great sponsor. Thank you for Marco's Pizza. We're giving away free pizza for a year again this week. There's also a Pozzola you might grab for a lunch item. I'm going to talk more about them. The free pizza for a year is what you see pictured on the right. That's the magnificent pizza, the Magnifico. And the free pizza for a year is a one large, one topping pizza that's monthly for the next year. And we'll be talking about the promo code. Hang with me. I got a great promo code too. But I got to get to the weather. We got to talk about what's going on. We have two flash flood warnings. They were issued quite some time ago. The one at the top, the Pasco tank, lasted till 8 o'clock. About 20,000 people affected there. You'll notice there's a few of those little flood markers all across North Carolina from last 24 hours or so. But the newest one is Chowan, Gates, and Perquimans County until 9:30. So if we kind of zoom in a little bit tighter, as far as the neighborhoods are concerned, we're talking about Mittensville. We're talking around Belvedere. Those are the areas, even though it may not be raining now, there could be still some rising water. The anticipation was that there was probably about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, 2.5 inches of rain that's already fallen in a few short hours. That's why they're most concerned about this area until 9:30. Conversely, if we go a little bit further to the east, Elizabeth City, you can see some of these flood warnings. This includes those areas until 8 o'clock. They've already been pounded with some heavy rain, and that's what we're seeing here. Some of those flood markers, if I do a little quick check here, see if we get some more intel, see if that pops up. Yep, 6:14, they had high water along Pear Tree Road, near Ham Overman Road. So again, talk about neighborhoods. It doesn't get much more specific than that. That's 6:14. It's now 7:42. And so these are the things we want to make sure that you're aware of. Some of the flooding is going to continue to be an issue. Let's keep moving, because not only do we have issues there, we mentioned back to the west, but it's raining and thundering around maybe parts of Chowan County near Edenton, and we have some severe weather southwest of Raleigh. The only flood watch that's in effect is until 2 in the morning. It's for North Carolina. It's not to say we couldn't get some rain overnight in southeast Virginia. I think it's possible. But right now, the concern is that the Tar Heel State is primed to get some of that activity, some of the flooding. All right, if you have a comment, I would love to say hi to you just to illustrate what that looks like. Oops, is that me? It is me. Anyway, I tried to get the ball rolling. So if you have an observation, maybe you've had some flooding, maybe you have a story about Father's Day weekend where rain came down in buckets, because we got anywhere from 2, 5, maybe even more inches of rain over the weekend, and I would love to be able to put your picture here, the one that Facebook provides, and then put your name. That's how easy it is. So let me know as we continue down the road here of how I can actually help you. Just want to magnify your voice, have this conversation going. Keep going here as well. Let's take a look, show you this is the 72-hour rainfall. I thought this would be good to see illustration-wise, because you can see some red and purple bullseyes just north of Elizabeth City. How much do you think we've had? Doppler estimated we've had quite a bit. Shazam, 7.8? Are you kidding me? That's like a lot of rain, right? That's more than a month's worth. That's well more than a month's worth. And some of us got that this weekend. 5.3 just to the west of Norfolk, estimated, maybe closer to 5 just north of Duck. These were heavy amounts. And if you had a similar total, maybe you have a backyard rain gauge, I'd like to hear from you, because that way we can put your comment on the screen. I'd love to be able to say hi to you. But those are some of the crazy numbers that I've been seeing and observing just in the last couple of days. So if you're on the call, this would be a great time to say hi to me. I'm on the WTKR page, as well as the one that's here on my Facebook page, which is Aldrich Weather. But either way, I want to be able to see your voice or get your comment in here, and do my best to put it on the screen. Let me see if I can see who's populating the comment section. Yeah, this is kind of one of those things where the flooding can be one part of the story, but there's also other things too. Let's see here. I got Denmark's on here. Let's see here. Denmark is on here. He's saying, here we go, First Warning Live. So he's on here as well. But I'd love to be able to get your comment on here. Maybe I can get his. And let's see here. Put this back on. Toggle over here. I had mine on there just a moment ago. But maybe I can get his on here as well. And some of the comments that do come in, I'll do my best to populate the screen. There he is. Hello, Denmark. We need to get a picture of your cat. I don't know if it's me or just, I like to be able to see, put something in there, maybe a cat or a dog, maybe a picture of dear old Dad, because Dad's Day just passed. We could celebrate him for a moment. But thank you, Denmark, for being here. Again, he's put the initials First Warning Live, that's right, FWL. And of course, his picture here, if he has a picture, we'd like to see it, because we like to have the conversation still going as we progress through time. It is now 7:45, almost 7:46. And we already talked about the rain has been particularly heavy in North Carolina. Thunderstorms still popping across places like Bertie County, Chowan County, Perquimans, and the front, incidentally, happens to be here. Where's here? Here's like right through Elizabeth City, maybe closer north of Rodanthe. And a lot of these storms will train just like a locomotive. We'll train along these tracks, and it'll happen over and over again. So you've got instability on both sides of this front. It goes up to Roanoke. It extends into central West Virginia, but really right off the Outer Banks. And it does coincide pretty much with that flash flood warnings that we saw at the top of this stream, but also the flash flood watch is primarily now just for North Carolina. If you follow lines back to Louisville, you go back to northern sections of Arkansas, southern Missouri, you can find another low. And it's just going to take another day or so before all this energy finally works out, but the humidity will be here for sure. How much rain did you get? Let's take a look. Yesterday, Smithfield. I'm calling you out, Smithfield. We love Smithfield because, like I said, I've done these cool spotlights. I go to towns and I like to take pictures. That's kind of what I do. But if you're in Smithfield, I kind of canvassed the area. I wanted to get the essence of your town in pictures. Now I've got, what do I have? Now I have your rainfall amount, 0.28. Smithfield yesterday. It was a ½ inch in Virginia Beach, 2 inches in Elizabeth City. And about 2 inches fell in Edenton yesterday. Suffolk, 0.92, Chesapeake, 0.94. That's a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain, but it gets like even worse. It looks like it's even worse. Over 3 1/3 just today, Elizabeth City. No wonder we're talking about rain. How can you be talking about oppressive heat when we got rain? Because one, be careful what you wish for, my friend. If you've been hoping, you've been wishing for this rain to disappear, now you're going to get the other extreme, right? You're going to get the temperatures. It's going to soar. The temperatures will soar where the heat index by Juneteenth, probably Wednesday, the day before Juneteenth, it's going to be over 100, 103, 105. That's coming. It's not that now. We only hit 76 today. But these heavier amounts of rain, you can see it colored all across Gates County, Perquimans. All these areas have had a lot of rain since the Father's Day weekend. And it's going to continue at least for the next couple of hours into the night. There's still opportunities for this because we have a saturated soil. There's not much place for these raindrops to go. Over 1.25 inches in Suffolk has occurred today. Windsor, almost 2 inches today. And again, these are just individual rain gauges. These are a point, only a point in time where Norfolk had a measly 0.01 inches. All right, if you're on the call, we'd love to say hi to you. I got Jessica Lynn on here. She wants to be social. Let's say hi to Jessica. She says, rain, go away. Oh, I'm with you right there. And she's got her little icon, her little thunderstorm there. And Jessica, I love the fact that we can recognize you. Did you know that we're trying to give away, let's come back on camera here. Let me kind of put myself back in this picture. Let's see here. We got Jessica on here. Does she know that we're giving away free Marco's Pizza? That's what we're doing. And you can see that probably a little bit easier if I take this off. So we're giving away pizza. And the promo code, are you ready for this? It's a similar promo code that we've had before. It's a similar promo code before because it's 50% off your online app orders. Online and app orders, if it's a hot wings, maybe it's a sub, a salad, maybe it's a gluten-free, yeah, they have the cauliflower bread crust. They have a gluten-friendly pizza you could get. It's now 50% off this week. We want to reward you. We want to reward you, Jessica, because you're watching. We might as well save you some money, right? So if you go to any one of our 5 convenient locations that we've talked about on this program, there she is. There's her picture. We wanted to kind of like highlight those who are on the First Warning Live deal of the week. We could give you some savings of some money and half off your pizza order. It's got to be pretty cool. And so, Jessica, we wanted to share that with you and anyone watching at this moment or later on in the day or night, because, again, we know people will watch this at different times. It just depends on when it's convenient for you. But those locations I talked about are 3 in Virginia Beach, 1 in the Greenbrier neighborhood, and 1 in Norfolk. That's Hampton Boulevard. All you have to do is go to WTKR.com/Marcos to sign up for the pizza giveaway. We're giving away pizza for a year. But, if you want half off, you don't even have to be a winner to get that. You could do that now using the promo code that we just mentioned, WTKR 50. WTKR 50. That's this promo code right here. So it's pretty easy. In the checkout, go to marcos.com, and then at the checkout, put that in there. All right, I digress. It's now 7:50. I got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to do that. And Jessica Lynn, thank you for being here. Hopefully we can save you some money. Appreciate your support and watching us. Let's keep going, because one of the cool things we're doing here with the weather, as we go back to the maps, basically what we're talking about is the big picture, right? We've got severe weather possibly breaking out, looks like all across parts of Minnesota and Iowa. A couple of those orange polygons just north of Omaha are under severe thunderstorm warnings. It looks like probably until 7:15 Central Time. That's Calhoun. Looks like Carroll and Crawford counties, for example. They're dealing with severe weather. And you go all the way up to Duluth, Minnesota, dealing with severe weather at this time. That's around the Sandstone area. That runs till 7:15 Central Time as well. So we like to look at what's going on, what might be coming up down the pike. Lows this morning were very sticky. It was 72 in Norfolk. We finished a high of only 72. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. 72 degrees, 76, I mean. The normal high is like 86. We were 10 degrees below normal. Does it really catch your attention? No. But when it's suddenly feels like 105, that catches your attention. If the pendulum swings the other way, it's probably going to catch your attention later this week, starting Wednesday. 76 in Hampton was the high. 80 today in Wakefield. Elizabeth City hit 82, but yet they got a lot of rain. And you look at the weather headlines. I love this because this puts it in bullet point form. We can go ahead and take a look at that. Look at people are enjoying the beach. This is a live look at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. And it would appear that there are some people out there, despite the gloomy skies, enjoying the waves and hanging out by the water. More rain possible tonight and Tuesday. Oppressive, there's that word again. Oh, there you go, Aldrich. You and your words, oppressive. This word will live up to its expectation. Because if I can communicate to you, for whether you're old or young, very old, very young, having a water bottle isn't just going to cut it. If your air conditioning isn't working so good, maybe it's not at full operating capacity, maybe it needs a tune-up, this would be the time to do it. Certainly before Wednesday, Thursday. And you say, well, I can't get an appointment that fast. I wish I could. My recommendation would be simple. I want you to go to the movies. I want you to go to the grocery store. Go to the library. It's free. Have some air conditioning because this is going to be taxing. 103, 105 is the feels like temperature projected for this Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, that's pretty serious. Drying out this weekend, sure, the rain may disappear, but it's still the 3 H's. It's hazy, hot, and humid. That's a problem for those who might be out and about, and you just want to pace yourself. Make sure that, you know your own body, right? You know yourself. Just don't overdo it. Don't overexert yourself, especially if you like to run, you like to exercise, you like to get a couple miles in. You might want to just peel back or maybe not exert yourself quite as much. Here are the June highs so far. Today was only 76. If you're keeping score, we've had 9 days so far below normal, but the 7 above normal. We had a 90 on Saturday. It was 82 on Father's Day. And it was 90 the previous Saturday. So we're going to see these numbers go up into the mid-90s, and it's going to be really, really hot, and it's not going to take very long to get there. We're just probably about 48 hours before some of you are like, really? Is it this hot? And I say, yes. And I say, I need to go inside. Some of you are like, I need to go inside. Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you do. I would. Gatorade is great, water's great, but maybe check on each other, because that's why I say the neighborhood, it's all about the neighborhood, taking care of each other. Look at this. High temperature, only 76 today. We are expecting temperatures tonight to drop into the lower 70s. We're currently there. It's 73 in Norfolk. If we only moved up to 76, we only moved 4 degrees all day. That's it. 4 degrees, that's all. Chesapeake, currently 74. These are current numbers. 77 in Manio. Kitty Hawk, you're at 75. Want to recognize a Husky. One of the warmer numbers, it's 78. And Edenton. Edenton's 10 degrees warmer than Cape Charles. Cape Charles is at 70. Edenton is currently at 80 degrees. I got to keep moving. Dew points are off the chart. They're in the 70s in most locations. Sometimes they're in the upper 60s. And what does that mean? It means it's closer to the muggy, and soon it's going to be just downright oppressive. It's going to be taxing on one's body because you really can't cool down. You can sweat, but you're not feeling very comfortable. The level of comfort goes way down when those dew point numbers, like the ones you see pictured here, are going up to 75. It's going to be, and that's the rocket fuel for severe weather. I think we have the potential. Hear me now, believe me later. We have the potential for severe weather on Juneteenth, late in the afternoon, I think, between 4 and 8 p.m. 4 and 8 p.m. might be a prime time to watch because it wouldn't take much to light that spark. Once we get those high dew points, you get a front that comes in, suddenly it's going to make a big difference, and those storms are going to be pretty ferocious with the wind, the hail, and maybe even some torrential rain thrown in there. You could get the whole, what is the expression, kit and caboodle. I got a couple of notes here. Angela, let's see, Angela's, she's got a note. She's maybe not happy with the message. I'm just the messenger, Angela. Be gentle. Let's see what she said. This is bad. This is bad. I would say it's bad, but you know what? It's summer. This is, I did some homework because I think this is important. And I want to keep Angela on the screen here. Let me just kind of fly in here. Angela, the last time, I got notes because I'm a note taker. Last time we hit 95 in Norfolk was August 29th. What do you know? You weren't here. No, I wasn't. But I have the benefit of the National Weather Service at Wakefield. They've got all these records, right? I mean, the historical record for Norfolk goes back like to the 1800s. So the last time we hit 95 was August 29th. That was 200. I thought you took notes. I do. It was 291 days ago. 291. That's about 10 months. 10 months ago, we hit 95. We're going to do it again. But the record high, oh, you think we're going to break a record? No. No. The record high is 99 and 101. From 1944. Wednesday and Thursday, record high 99 and 101 from 1944. That's back when FDR was in the White House. I don't think we're going to break records, but because we haven't had a day, I mean, we're getting late August weather in late June. That's not that common. And because it's the first mid-90s that we've had in a while, I thought it was worth noting that we're going to have some issues. So I agree with you. It's going to be bad if people aren't getting that message. And I hope they will be getting that message very soon. All right, here are the dew points. I hope I haven't lost you. Please follow the legend at the top of the screen. It says 75 is miserable. And we're going to have 2 miserable days starting tomorrow because it will climb even into Tuesday night. Those dew points were as high as 72 today. It will be about 3 degrees higher tomorrow in terms of humidity, and that will translate to some very high heat indices or feels like temperatures. Right now we're at 80 in Myrtle Beach, it's 74 in Virginia Beach, and Hatteras currently at 77. You look around the country, it's 107 in Vegas and 71 in Los Angeles. Little Rock is 81. Well, it's a nice cool 56. Where are you seeing 56? I'm looking at Billings. Oh, I mean, why not? Billings, that's the cool spot, right? Billings, they look like they're having a good time of it at 56 degrees, although they probably would hope to be a little bit warmer this time of year. Now, we are going to look here at this image here. This is just a projection, 10 days into the future. Where's the heat building? It's kind of been building all across the 4 corners, but by the time we hit June 25th, it's still pretty toasty, right? All up and down the eastern seaboard. We could easily see numbers in the upper 80s, low 90s. That might be more commonplace right through Thursday, June 26th. By the way, it's 7:58. I got to keep moving. Tonight, I'm expecting a low of 71 in Hampton, 70 in Virginia Beach, and 69 in Suffolk. Does that help? I hope it does. As I'm looking at some cool notes here coming in on the Facebook page. 70 in Newport News, 69 in Matthews, and our planner takes us to about 86 tomorrow. 86 degrees is what I expect to find tomorrow. We'll maybe find some fog, especially where it's rained hard. Early rain and fog, 73. 79 at noon, and then a little bit of hazy sun. That adds a little more instability. But 86 would be a 10-degree jump from where we were today in Norfolk. And then 80, some leftover storms. We're getting to those long days. Sunset's now at 8:27. So there's some benefit to having a late June type of situation. But these are the numbers that are just going to make one's eyes pop out of their sockets. 94, 95. The normal high is 86, right? Even at 95, you're only 9 degrees above normal. But today, we were 10 degrees below normal. Okay, let's see, you get an A on this test, but you fail, you didn't study, on this test. It averages a C. It's kind of where you get the average. Doesn't mean you have to be 86. Doesn't mean you have to be 76 or 96, here in case 95. but it just happens to be where we're headed, and it happens to be Juneteenth. The average 90-degree days we get typically, round them up, because these are 30-year averages from the National Weather Service in Wakefield, we average about 36 days. That's a little more than a month. How many have we had so far? 5. If you count last Saturday, and you count the Saturday before that, 5 days. 15 days is the most we typically see in July, and we usually get about 8 in June. And so far, we had 1 day in April. We had several days in May. 1 day in April. We've had we had one on May 1st, one on May 16th, and then we had now, and of course, June 7th and June 14th. So a total of 5. So it's nothing too extreme in that way, but because our bodies aren't used to it. This is the image I wanted to really focus on. Because if you're not paying attention to the weather, you're just like, oh, it's just another day at Hampton Roads. Think again. 103, 105. It might actually be 93 or 94 or 95, but the fact you could tack on another 10 degrees in terms of the heat index, the feels like temperature. This is August weather. We're getting a little preview of August in late June. We had a very cool, end of May because it was so rainy. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. This is the way it's going to happen. But we had only 76 today, right? It wasn't that much different. It will pull back a little bit on Friday at 93. All right, it's 8 o'clock, 8:01. Here are my chances for rain for the next couple of days. 40% Tuesday, 20% on Wednesday, 40% on Juneteenth, but I think the severe weather, and I think it would be severe with those high dew points, will be late afternoon to evening. I'm thinking 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. would be the time to watch. Doesn't mean it's precise. I mean, it's only Monday. But that would be the time I would watch for outdoor activities for Juneteenth would be late afternoon, early evening, and then a 20% chance on Friday. Rain forecast, well, we know how this goes, right? With these high dew points, I think the models tend to underestimate how much rain we could see between now and 5 o'clock Wednesday, maybe another quarter to a third of an inch, maybe closer to a half inch around inland North Carolina. Rainfall potential regionally, which suggests about maybe a half inch around Richmond and a little bit maybe more in the Roanoke area. So this is just, again, just a projection, but it gives us an idea that we're going to get some more rain, at least in the short term. It is time now for the Eastern Shore. Oh, yeah, we could do that. Onancock, 79 tomorrow. Biloxim, 78. Exmoor, 78. And Cape Charles at 80. We got the Kill Devil Hills and Nags Head, both at 83. Manio at 83, while our friends at Duck should be around 82 degrees. Rodanthe, 84, and 83 in Hatteras and Ocracoke. We talk about the Storm Prediction Center. They live, they work, they breathe in Norman, Oklahoma, but they cover the whole country. And oftentimes when we talk about these colors, anytime you see orange, which is numerous, level 3, that's a problem. It's usually where severe weather is breaking out. We just saw Duluth. We just saw Minnesota already getting hammered with severe weather. So between now and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, this is their expectation. Central Nebraska could be level 3, Minneapolis, level 3, because this is a military town. You might have family in Tupelo. You might have family in parts of Mississippi or Alabama. Nothing going on here, although we got rain, but not severe. It's the flooding that we're most concerned about between now and tomorrow morning because we have a saturated soil. Tuesday looks like this. Well, Tuesday looks like we've got level 3 right in the heart of Nebraska, Kansas. Kansas and Nebraska might have some coloring too from level 1 and 2. Des Moines scattered in yellow. These are the hot spots for Tuesday. There's also a concern for Roanoke, Lynchburg. If you're traveling there, they're under a level 1. This extends into Beckley, Charleston, West Virginia, and Elkins, West Virginia for level 1 tomorrow. We are not, I repeat, not expecting severe weather on Tuesday. Wednesday looks like this. Again, this is their map. Storm Prediction Center thinks Chicago is level 2, which means scattered severe storms from Chicagoland to Louisville, southwest to Oklahoma City. You can include Memphis in there and Dallas for isolated severe storms. If you're taking a flight, you're getting on an aircraft. My home state of Delaware is under level 1 for Wednesday, as is Philadelphia, Toms River, Atlantic City, and so on. Nothing going on here, though, in terms of severe weather. So let's get you through the rest of the Futurecast, right? We got tonight, 11 o'clock. Just to bring you back to speed here, we've had some flash flood warnings. They're expected to go away at 8 and 9:30, respectively, across North Carolina. But by 11 o'clock, it should slow down. But watch what happens. All comes back, 3 in the morning. Give it 4 or 5 hours, we got more rain falling over already saturated ground. Then we move into 7 a.m. tomorrow. Might still have a few showers to wake you up and head out the door trying to get to work. But then it stops. Looks like at noon we get some hazy sun. That adds some instability, and depending on the model, this one is not. Depending on the model, this one is not. It has a chance for another round of showers. Some of the other modeling wants to bring in, this is 4 o'clock, there's not much here. Not much here, but the trend is certainly by 11, we start really cranking up the heat as we head into Wednesday. Looks great, sunshine, lots of it, but really not much to see in terms of pop-up storms, maybe a 20% chance at that time. So as we round up the forecast, tomorrow morning, you'll wake up, we're not going to be that far from where we are right now, lower 70s. We head into your Tuesday afternoon, we'll make a run toward 87 in Suffolk, Hampton 85, Cape Charles 80, and Chincoteague about 74. Well, Duck might be a little cooler there at 82 compared to Edenton at 89 degrees. That's my Tuesday expectation. Those are my expected highs. We carry this one step further. What do you see? Highs about 86 for Norfolk, Smithfield, 86, Newport News, Matthews, 82, Melville about 79, Hertford about 89 degrees. So tomorrow afternoon, we're generally in the low to mid 80s. That's where I anticipate to be. And again, the afternoon, just a 40% chance of rain. Here is your first warning. WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 86 tomorrow, 94 Wednesday. Do I hear a 95 on Thursday? Just to reiterate, the record high on Wednesday is actually 99. I don't think we'll hit that. It's been on the books for 81 years. It's been on the books since 1944. Similarly, the 95 degree temperature on Juneteenth will not be the hottest ever. On the 19th of June, we hit 101 in Norfolk in 1944. So the record highs will be safe, in my view. But what might not be safe is you and Grandma or the young kids who might be going out to the pool, hanging out by Chesapeake Bay, hanging out on the Outer Banks and didn't know it's going to be this hot. It's the humidity, not the heat. Not just the heat, but it's also the humidity. So hopefully that helps you. And if you have any comments, I'll do my best. I think there's probably a few more comments. Let's go ahead and put them on the screen. Who do we got? Ooh, I got Denmark. He's got a cool emoji. Is it hot? Ooh, it's hot. Thank you. Thank you very much, Denmark. Appreciate it. He's figured this out, right? He's got the flame. He's got, maybe that's how we feel by Wednesday and Thursday. It'll stay hot, as you can see, even into Saturday and Sunday, right? We're in the low to mid 80s. We're doing it again. Low to mid 90s, I should say. I left a 10% chance of rain Saturday and Sunday because usually there's something that spawns a little spark along the Outer Banks. I don't expect it. It'll be probably dry for 90% of us, but there's that small chance that we get something to pop during that time frame. Mark followed up with a note. He says it's too hot. Too hot is indeed correct. I agree with that. And Jessica, we learned a moment ago, saying, rain, rain, go away. It will go away, Jessica, thanks to your patience, but it will likely come with a price. By the way, 1042, that is this astronomical start of summer. The longest days of the year. 1042. You could argue that this is that Saturday's the first full day of summer because 1042 is at night. Last I checked, it's dark at 1042 at night. So I may be being overly nitpicking, but I like to be accurate. That's kind of how I cut my teeth in doing this. Just like to be accurate. First day of summer, first full day will be Saturday, but we hit the longest day of the year on Friday. So that's kind of cool. All right, I wanted to make sure I got, did I do happy shots? We got to do some happy shots. And then I want to mention my sponsor. If you haven't heard, we're giving away free pizza. We've done several weeks now, 10 lucky winners first week, 10 lucky winners the second week, and then we gave away one free pizza for a year to one individual, but then it gave away 10 other individual pizzas. All you have to do is go to WTKR.com/Marcos. The Pozzoli is a great lunch item. I love that. The pepperoni and sausage. The Magnifico is great. Now, what's even amazing is even if you don't win the pizza for a year, we're now giving away free pizza, sort of, right? It's 50% off. Just this week because we love you. We want our first winning live viewers to be rewarded by save some money. So we're making a weather party. Whether you do it now, whether you do it later, like Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe you want a beverage. They got they got soft drinks. They've got tea. They got all sorts of things that you can get 50% off. All you have to do is go to marcos.com and check them out. All right. Do we have any comments? I got a note. It's gonna be. Let's see here. I got a note here over here. Is this going to be all weather or local news as well? This is going to be weather. This is a weather thing because I think what most people would argue is that that's what matters most, right? And then the weather part of it, the news part of it, you could find on the WTKR Facebook page. But since weather is what I'm trained to do, we're focused on weather here. It's a good question, but thank you for bringing it up because, again, this is something new. We're trying to do something just to keep a conversation going. Most of us live on our phone these days, and the phone may be the very best way to communicate with you that might not otherwise watch the local news. So just something to think about. All right, so it is now 8:09. I'm going to keep this concise. Basically, I have my forecast over here. I wanted to share with you, I am like Kurt Williams, just like Kurt Williams. I am a girl dad. I've got 2 daughters. Father's Day was yesterday. I wanted to share some cool pictures and quick stories. My girls are now, they're past the teenage years, one of them, and one is almost out of the teenage years. And they love hanging out with dad. One thing I've learned about being a dad, I learned from my dad. But one of the things I've learned, it's a lesson I'm constantly learning, is that when I'm with them, sitting down at a meal, lunch, a dinner, my wife and I, we're always like, hey, put your phone away. Be present. And that's a lesson I have to learn every day because I'm always looking at the weather, right? Some guys are looking at sports scores. Just be present. That's a lesson that's a humility vulnerability I'm sharing with you. I'm not always present. I can spend 10, 12, 16 hours a day working, doing digital stuff, putting out forecasts, looking at models, doing all that sort of stuff. But if I'm not present with my girls, then I'm not being the best dad that I can be. And you might say, well, that makes sense. What kind of story would you have? I got to tell you this quick story. What I showed in this picture. Now, I talked a lot about my mom last week, but this is my dad on the left. My dad grew up in Philadelphia. He met my mom in 1964. She was already Miss USA. She had already been Miss USA, and there were 2 years where Huntington, West Virginia was recipient of all these celebrities. But my dad calls me at midday on Friday. He says, son, he said, are you on one of those spotlights? And I said, Dad, what are you talking about? He said, are you going to do a spotlight this weekend? I said, no, because it's probably going to rain a lot, and it probably wouldn't look good to take pictures of cloudy skies. He said, because your mom and I want to drive down and see you. Now, keep in mind, they're in their 80s. Early to mid 80s. And I said, Dad, that's like an 8-hour drive. But my dad, if you understand who my dad is, he's not swayed by that. He's like, well, he says, for me, it's 4 hours for me to drive and 4 hours for your mom to drive. We'll make it. So they came. They came to Norfolk. You ready for this? They came to Norfolk for the very first time. Let me put this back on the screen here. They had not been here. They might have gone around. We definitely took the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel when I was a kid. But there were times where we hadn't been here as a family. So this was this weekend. I got a chance to take them to places they hadn't been. I said to Dad, by the way, Dad, if you come with where I'm going to show you, I'll introduce you to a mermaid. And he started laughing. He said, I don't need a mermaid, son. I got your mom. They've been now married 60 years. It'll be 61 years this September. And here we are at the pagoda in Oriental Garden. They had not seen it. My dad had served in the Army when after getting out of college, he went into the Army for a period of time, got out and served his time, but he was very impressed with the Navy and some of the cool things I was able to show him. But we were all over the place. I took him to Grommet Island on Father's Day. I couldn't get him onto a boat like this one, but I tried. And then I took him, of course, from Norfolk to Virginia Beach. Got him a picture, showed him the boardwalk. We had a good time for father-son moment, right? I even got him over to King Neptune, which was fun because my dad has never been intimidated by going out for a drive. I even had to kind of get him out of bed in the morning because dads, sometimes they're laughing, but his sense of humor is, I think, part of it is what I got from him as well. But one of the things I love about my dad, growing up in Philly, this is a couple years ago, he was giving me his Rocky impersonation at the Great Smoky Mountains. I think it's a cool story. My dad, who was a traveling salesman for Armstrong Corporation. You see these tiles? Well, maybe you can see it over here. You see these tiles? These are acoustical tiles, right? They came out in the 60s. Now, he didn't sell to door, but he sold business to business. These little acoustical tiles with the pinholes in them, he would actually sell it, and he was traveling through West Virginia. A guy from Philadelphia, he finds out there's a Miss USA, a former winner, just 60 miles away. What's he do? Like any guy who's got game, he drives 60 miles to ask a girl he never met to go out on a date. Now, I think that's brave. I don't know if everybody would do that. Just put 60 miles in a car. What if she says no? Some guys do that. Well, what if she says no? He's not swayed by that. He's got confidence. So he ends up proposing to my mom probably a couple of months. I think it was a couple of months, but he was so used to traveling around that Huntington was part of his territory for his company. He was for 3 years. But what I like about the story is that in order to be a good dad, it's often modeled for me, right? My dad has modeled that for me. Like your dad. If your dad was holding the bicycle seat when you first rode your bicycle, that was my dad. He was huge about sports. I learned all about the Philadelphia Phillies. Like when I was a kid, it was Mike Schmidt, it was Pete Rose, it was Larry Bowa, and it was Tug McGraw, the father of the country star, Tim McGraw. We had seats. We had season tickets because he sold insurance at that time right by third base. And I got those experiences from my dad. Got to see the Eagles. Dr. J, he had tickets for that as a kid. I love that about my dad. But when it comes time to, when things get serious, he's there to pick you up. I talked about my soccer catastrophe when I was in 8th grade. He would tell me, oh, son, you couldn't do that again if you tried. But that's what I love about my dad. And if he's watching, and I hope he is, I love you more than you know. So I hope you'll appreciate your kids and stay present, because I'm guilty as charged. And I finally got a chance to meet one of my neighbors on Friday, a guy named Justin from Chicago. I just said, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. And he was like, that's cool. I didn't have to get much more deep in it because he was in a hurry, but I just like being able to know who my neighbors are, and hope you know your neighbors' names, because at some point we're all going to have to pull each other together when the next tropical storm comes. Is there one coming? No, not now. What about a hurricane? Not now, but someday. Someday it's so important to know each other so that we can build each other up. That's my view. Appreciate your time. I've gone 8:16, a few extra minutes here, but Dad's Day doesn't come every day, and I've done so much about Mom. Mom loves Dad, and it's kind of neat to see it modeled any way you can. It could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it could be a father figure in your life. I hope you had a great Father's Day. And in the meantime, I will see you here tomorrow. Make sure you know every day is a gift. Doesn't matter if it's sunny or the weather is serious, every day is a gift, so make the most of it in your neighborhood with oppressive heat coming soon to a neighborhood near you. Take care.